Good afternoon, America. It's a new year. Happy New Year. Where I am, there was a nice fresh blanket. I think we got 5 inches of snow. Nice little fortuitous representation of turning over a new leaf, a fresh blanket, a fresh start, a fresh coat this year. New year, same me. Don't know why people are trying to come up with goals that they think they're going to complete. It's January 1st. Are you really going to start working out? Even in Virginia, it's cold. You really going to start working out now? You going to start eating healthy? You going to stop doing drugs? You going to call your kid once a month? No, you'll call him this month. You'll see him again in 5 years on accident. Or he'll come chase you down for money because you left. You turned into a degenerate, in and out of prison. Has a couple kids of his own you think about taking in, but you don't want the responsibility. You had him young. It was a mistake. His mother was bad shit crazy. You wanted her to get an abortion. She didn't. Well, this is the result. Yes, New Year. New Year. Some fun stuff happened last night. I decided to prepare some content today for once, which I don't know is going to make this worse or not. Kind of been freeballing it, but I'm only 21, so I can talk about pussy. I can express my semi-racism. I'm not really racist, as I've gone over and clarified. But yeah, I'm just gonna try some prepared content today. So we'll see how I feel about that. The 1 to 2 people that accidentally click on this, listen for 5 minutes, have said nothing of note so far. They're listening to this because they're actually wondering if this is going anywhere. It's not. It might. We'll go somewhere at some point. But yeah, some fun stuff happened last night. Wish I was in Berlin. In Berlin, 400 people arrested for using illegal fireworks and attacking cops with them. Boy, it sounds like fun. Article written by AP. German government arrested 400 people in Berlin following attacks on firemen and police officers. These attacks were primarily done with fireworks. Can't you let people have fun? You can't let them have one night. You have to send the police in. 30 police officers and 1 firefighter were injured. I like the 1 firefighter. They were lighting people's homes on fire. 36 apartments are now uninhabitable. You can't go back in. People's brick facades were taken down. 5 people were killed and hundreds were injured. Many of the fireworks were very powerful and illegal and resulted in, I already said the thing about apartments. You know, Israel has been going a little crazy lately. Are we sure it wasn't the Mossad? You know, there's not much left in the Gaza Strip. Can you blame them for getting a little bored, having some fun? I can hold a grudge. Oh no, it could have been the Mossad. I mean, seriously, thank God they didn't win. I'm not talking about Israel, I'm talking about Germany. What an aggressive people. I didn't write all of this, by the way. I can kind of feel myself trailing off. I'm gonna try and rally it. But we'll see. What an aggressive people. I mean, we didn't do anything like this in America. We have a reason to dislike the police. Well, I don't. I don't have a reason, but a good amount of people have a reason to dislike the police. We're not doing this shit. They're just over there fucking around. One guy was probably like, saw the cops coming, trying to shut them down, pointed the mortar toward them, took people's apartments down. I mean, Jesus Christ. I think they need a new Hitler. He wouldn't put up with this shit. The SS would have been on the streets. No one would have been causing any trouble. You know. But no, yeah, sounds a very interesting night in Berlin. I do actually wish I was there. It sounds very funny just to think how that developed. Hey, try and do. I don't know why I can't do a German accent right now. I guess I'll try. Oh, the police. No, it's like Swedish. I didn't prepare one. That's probably why. That's the only reason. The rest of this was brilliant. The rest of this was gold. But I forgot to practice my German accent. Right? Well, anyway, let's get to American New York, or let's get to American crime on New Year's. It's more fun. Couple shootings in North Carolina here and there. Nothing new. Wasn't New York specific. People are just, you know, I don't really look at the news much. Whenever I look at the news, I can just look up news today, and it's like 2 people were gunned down at 3 a.m. in Raleigh, North Carolina. A man was stabbed in his home. A man was shot in the head in Minneapolis last night. Out of the blue. Just typical. Got a couple of those a day. You know, no biggie. Not even pro-guns. I don't really care. Or anti-gun. Don't really care. It's just, it's funny. You can literally look up shootings. Get about 5 to 10 stories written an hour ago. But yeah, something tragic happened on Bourbon Street last night. In American news, a Ford F-150 drove through Bourbon Street, killed 10 people, injured 30 others. The report was later corrected, stating it was actually Zion Williamson. That didn't have enough pizzazz. It wasn't a truck, it was actually Zion Williamson. No, but that's pretty terrible. What a maniac. I mean, hating society that much, especially on Bourbon Street. Man, fond memories in Bourbon Street. I went there with my dad for the first time. I did a semester at a college down in Louisiana. For there, very fond memories of the French Quarters. But yeah, 10 people ran over in the street. Surprisingly, no one had a video. It was about 2 a.m. I couldn't believe it. You know, everybody, at least 30 people have their tits out. I don't know how no one's phone was out as well. But a few politicians were asked for comment. I got one here from Lindsey Graham, South Carolina. Lindsey Graham, South Carolina senator, was asked for comment and stated, it's tragic what happened. I'm sending my prayers to all the families in Ukraine, as well as my fellow shareholders who will be missing out on their tax dollars. Now, if y'all please excuse me, I paid a lot of money for those for the cocaine and gigolos. Probably didn't need a southern accent right there, but he's pretty gay. Okay, he strikes me as extremely gay. Unmarried. I feel a little nervous today. I don't know why. I felt like my last episode was good for, you know, whatever standard that's based on. I feel a little nervous today. Maybe I'm putting too much pressure on myself. Need to get back to my roots. Just start saying kind of racist things. Talk about drugs. No. I'll get to that later. I got one more news story. So I rarely go on the news. I was trying to prepare some stuff for today, which I may never do again because this is off to a very, very weird start. But I went on the news today. I got curious. A couple weeks ago, I looked up what's up with Gaza right now. It's destroyed. That's what's up with Gaza. It's destroyed. I looked at a picture. I couldn't believe it. Actually, I could believe it, but whew, man, going hard in the paint. No, but I looked up Israel comments on Gaza, and I came across first article. It was written by a couple other places. First article in the New York Post, the highly respected newspaper and commenter on recent and current events. Everybody trusts the New York Post. But no, so this was written by the New York Post. A couple other people did pick it up. But it seems there's a silver lining in this new year for Gaza. Israel Prime Minister Ben Netanyahu is looking for a ceasefire agreement. Netanyahu says, I would like a ceasefire agreement. These are his exact words. Netanyahu stated, even after a ceasefire agreement, Israel will continue the war in Gaza. It was a closed meeting, so maybe he forgot people at Google Translate. But Netanyahu stated, if there is a deal, and I hope there is one, Israel will return to fighting afterward. There's no reason to obscure or conceal this, because resuming fighting is intended to complete this war's objective. This doesn't obstruct a deal, it encourages one. So Israel's saying, hey Hamas, look, we're tired of this. We want a ceasefire agreement. We're going to attack you right after. Please drop your weapons. Go ahead, get some paint. We'll give you some paint. All right, get your kids. You put them in one area. All right, you spray paint. Nice little red circle on their back. Make sure they're laying down. Okay, spray a red circle around their back. Put a dot in the middle. This will help us separate the kids from the adults. Okay? What you want to do, because don't worry. We're not going to kill your kids. We've tried everything in our power to avoid that so far. So for all the adults, after the ceasefire agreement, what we're going to want you all to do is get yourself in a separate area of the Gaza Strip, out in the open. So really anywhere. There's not really any cover left for you out in the open. But Hamas, please listen to me. So after you paint circles and dots on your children's shirts, make them all laid down so we know it's them, you're going to want to get orange paint and a giant flag written in whatever the Jewish language is. Okay, get a giant flag, paint all adults here, all Hamas here, paint orange on your back, similar circle with a dot, and then all of you gather in one place, lay down on the ground, and this war will end. We'll kill all of you. Just agree to a ceasefire agreement, make our lives easier, please. Okay? This is, this ceasefire agreement will help us complete our objective because we will be able to immediately break this ceasefire agreement. Okay, you see kind of what we're talking about here? I mean, what a fucking psycho. What an absolute psychopath. I mean, this guy's been in power for 24 years. This is extremely Hitler-esque, by the way. You read the stories of Hitler, the fun-loving stories of Hitler. Okay? You read the stories of Hitler. This is how it goes. He rolls through Poland, and he's famous for this. He rolls through Poland, goes, give us our land. We won't be messing with y'all. And then he goes over to Czechoslovakia with his guys. He goes, look, we want you to know, okay, we're agreeing not to steal your land. They go to Britain. They tell France, hey, we just wanted this piece of the Rhineland. We kind of want some more, but let's agree to this ceasefire agreement. And he goes up to the leader of Czechoslovakia, says, hey, agree to this so we can take your entire country, or we'll fucking kill you. We will slit your throat. All right? We're going to attack you immediately. So just go ahead and agree to this. And of course, they didn't agree to the ceasefire agreement to give up their land immediately, which obviously Hamas isn't agreeing to give up the land, which they would be. That's what Israel wants. Some of their land, at least. And Hitler rolls into Czechoslovakia the next fucking day with his tanks, his panzers, whatever, and takes it. So, I mean, it's just very funny. Israel is like the worst wingman of all. Israel will be the worst wingman of all time. You know, Israel's going out with Hamas. Israel's like, Hamas is like, oh man, Israel, I really like that. You know, I really like that girl over there. Israel goes, me too. And he goes, you know what, Israel, like, we both really like her. We both want to get her. I think we should just agree on like a mutual cease and desist. Let's avoid her so neither one of us get upset anymore. And then Hamas goes, look, I'm sorry about that thing, you know, the year before last on October 7th. I shouldn't have took that girl that you wanted, okay? I was a little out of line. You know, I'm sorry. But, you know, ever since then, we've kind of been at each other's throats. I don't really like what this is doing to us. I don't really like what this is doing to the friend group as a whole. You know, innocent bystanders in our friend group, they've essentially been iced out. We've kind of destroyed this nice little friendship we cultivated. And Israel's like, yeah, I agree. You know, I think that we should cease and desist. And Hamas goes, okay, good. Israel goes, so you're not going to fuck her. I'm going to go ahead and fuck her. Hamas is like, oh, no. Israel, cease and desist means like we're both not going to go after this girl. Okay? And Israel goes, look, Hamas, I get it. I completely understand what you're saying. Okay? Like, neither of us is going to touch this girl except for me. And Hamas goes, well, no. Okay? And Israel, fuck you, you fucking October fucking 7th. You shouldn't have did that shit. And Hamas goes, look, man, I'm sorry. Again, I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. You know, I shouldn't have done that thing on October 7th. And Israel goes, yeah. Okay, yeah. Cease and desist. I'm going to go ahead and fuck her. You clearly don't get the objective here. And Hamas goes, look, the objective is to keep peace between us, and then we can both continue just go doing our thing, get separate girls. He goes, no, the objective is to eradicate you. I don't want you with any girls. Ever. That's what Israel goes. And Hamas goes, whoa, like, again, like, I know it's a little hypocritical of me to say this considering what I've done, but I think you're being a little unfair here. You know, again, I take my part of the responsibility for the destabilization of our community, but you have to accept the fact that you've gone a little too far. Israel's like, yeah, okay, I'm gonna go fuck her. I'll see you later. Okay? I'll be back to kill you, and then I'm gonna kill all the people you introduced me to. Alright? I'm gonna get all of them next. I mean, it's just crazy. Clear. Either I'm reading something wrong. Like, I read you the real quote from the article. I don't think you, the person I'm not talking to, and who will never hear this ever again, I read you the real quote from the article. You don't understand the objective. We're going to keep attacking after the ceasefire deal is on. That's why it's good. We want this ceasefire deal so we can just kill them easier. We can make it easy. Oh my God. Yeah, this is why I don't stay into this is why I really don't go into politics, because it's extremely obvious. But like both sides, yeah, it's like you can't disagree with anybody. All you can say is like, yeah, the system we live in's kind of like pretty fucked up. And then they'll be like, yeah, it's fucked up because of Trump and because of Kamala, and both sides different points. It's like, no, it's fucked up because we don't really have any control over the direction this country is going. Again, I am a college dropout. I know what I'm fucking talking about. So don't you sit there on your high horse with your community college degree or your degree in communications. I don't see you going over to the Middle East. Why don't you learn some Arabic? Go ahead and learn some Sanskrit, some Torah. That's what I'm going to call the Jewish language. Go solve it over there and then tell me I'm wrong. Okay? I didn't even state an opinion, by the way. But no, so politics, I mean, Christ. I just thought that was really funny. How the president of Israel, or prime minister, I guess, president's supposed to be temporary, just goes, yeah, we'd like a ceasefire deal so we can keep attacking them. The war is not going to be over. This doesn't obstruct a deal. It encourages one. I mean, Jesus Christ. I overuse that, by the way. It's like a filler word. Jesus Christ. But yeah, let's see what else I prepared. I had the Zion Williamson joke, which I didn't deliver correctly. It wasn't that good. It was kind of funny. Got an NBA crowd, maybe. But yeah, New Year. New Year. What to do this New Year? Everybody's still going to be fat. New Year, new president. Probably no January 6th this time around. Also, there's too many days now. Okay, can we just stick to one? Can we just stick to 9/11? Do we really have to remember all of these dates? 9/11 is catchy. And there's like a video of the planes. Also, I don't know how somebody was recording while that was happening. The first one. Conspiracy. But seriously. January 6th, October 7th, they don't matter. Alright? I mean, do people people care about January 6th? Again, I think I said this in the first episode. I remember I lived in the DC area at the time. I remember being called down. My mother was like, come watch the news. They're attacking the Capitol. And I go, what? And I thought I misheard her. I walk downstairs. I look at the TV. It's like all the people with their signs and stuff. And yeah, there's people rushing into the Capitol. I literally just goes, yeah, figures. Kinda saw that one coming. Who didn't see something like that happening? It was pretty funny. There were like blacks for Trump. I always include that. I like to include that. You saw that wasn't just racists. It was self-hating racists. No, but yeah, I don't have anybody in my family who follows Q. But my father and grandfather are kind of convinced they stole the election. I don't even know if they did or they didn't. I don't think they did. Doesn't make any sense. They didn't have to. It wasn't very difficult to beat Trump. They had like 2 debates and Joe Biden actually won both of them. Maybe not the second one. You could tell he was winning because my dad's more gleeful when something politically is going right. Not like right and Republican politic, like when something is going the way he prefers it, I should say, which is typically right. Again, that time I was referencing the political spectrum, but he'll be like, you see the debate? He's like, yeah, I know. Kamala is, man, she is, like, whatever. I still think Kamala won that debate, but anyway, like, anything, like, you saw, like, Kamala saying, like, you fall out of a coconut tree, or whatever stupid thing came out of her mouth. He's like, yeah, I know, yeah. When the Joe Biden and Trump debates happened, he was like, Joe Biden's such a fucking idiot. Like, he's such a moron. Like, how could... He gets all mad. He doesn't even like Trump. Like, I'm making him sound a bit red-pilled here. He doesn't like Trump. He thinks he's crazy. I don't know how you couldn't think he's crazy. Frankly. But... I was like, I don't really get into politics, and then spew a bunch of political stuff for, I don't know. I won't even include the Israel thing. I don't even think that's political. That's just what he said. But yeah, I don't really, there was a time, probably like 9 months ago, I was really into Russell Brand. You feel anybody who watches Russell Brand is a little religious in that. Oh, welcome, you awaken wonders. I'm glad to welcome my 5. That's not a good British accent. Let me see. 5 million awakened wonders. I'm so happy you're here. Let's spread the beautiful word of God. Let's I'll do a non-British impression of Russell Brand. This is terrible so far. Awaken wonders. We'll spread the word of God, the corruption, the greed, the like one of those pop culture pop culture words. What's the one where like a specific race or a specific race, religious or ethnic group tries to take a different area. It starts with an A. Anyway, it'll be like the hegemony, whatever that word is. God, I'm so fucking stupid. The hegemony of the American agenda, the corruption, the greed. Here today, we're here to show you the facts on why you need to vote for Trump or RFK, who probably did coke. Probably did. I don't know. I believe it's his voice. He doesn't seem cool enough to have done coke. If you watch his set on Kill Tony, I thought he was going to be funny. It wasn't funny. It was very disappointing. The Kill Tony RFK impersonation was very funny. But yeah, people. I listen to Russell Brand a lot. People who do that, people who listen to like one specific political show. It's same with Rush Limbaugh. They get so attached to it. They get so involved. They think they're smarter than everybody else. It's anybody who consumes any type of news from any outlet. They know everything, and everybody who disagrees, is stupid. It's the same thing with the anti-establishment people, who I was one of. I would be like, oh, like, you don't even understand the corruption. I would say like 50 words, like 200 words a minute. You don't even understand the corruption of the government. You don't understand how they're stealing all the health care, how they're spending all the money on military infrastructure, of which is all kicked back to the politicians who invest in these companies, who lobby Congress and curate who exactly gets to make the laws for this country, which is true. All that is true. I stand by that. But it's just the same sort of dogmatic attitude. It's just annoying to listen to these people. Nobody cares about your opinion, even if you have, especially if you have a different one. And frankly, if you have the same one as me, I get more annoyed. I could care less. Okay? I want to hear myself talk in my own head where I can make things make sense at my own pace. I don't need you coming in and telling me, how terrible the military industrial complex and pharmaceutical industrial complex and how the zeitgeist has taken a turn for the worse. That's a word people like to use. It's all a bunch of buzzwords now. The zeitgeist, the neocons. It's the same. It's the same people just saying the same thing over and over. Nothing is going to change. I think things are going to change in the next 15 years. By the time I'm old enough to run for president, anybody who was listening is tuned out by now. I'm really not being that serious. I hope I'm not being that serious. I genuinely just find it so boring to listen to these people who, it's the same people. It's like I'd rather listen to you talk about how Trump was controlled by the Russians, how it wasn't Hunter Biden's laptop. That's funny. That's a fun conversation. But like everybody still thinks they're interesting by saying, yes, the military industrial complex has taken a hold of our politicians. Yes! Everybody knows that. Okay? Nobody disagrees with that. Alright, you're not enlightened. You're not going to get people to change their vote. Who did you vote for? Trump? Oh, like the military-industrial complex and the neocons and billionaires really create all the laws in this country. We need something different. I'm voting for Trump because he's less bad. That's what people say. He's the lesser of two evils. I think everything is corrupt and evil, so I'm voting for Trump. Shut up! Vote for Trump! Again, you believe all these things. You believe the entire government's corrupt. You want change, and you're going to vote for Trump? It's like, again, I can get behind the lesser of two evils argument, but stop promulgating these ideas about, stop promulgating these ideas about, whether, don't say anything anymore if you voted for anybody on the ballot, because you don't care that much. Again, you're just trying to sound smart. Like I was when I was 18. I'd learned the new word. Oh, did you know? I did this in college. I got removed from college. This is how retarded I am. I got removed from on campus in college because I thought of myself as better than the rules, which you're not. You're never better than the rules. You're under the rules. The rules own you in whatever sense. You can disobey the rules if you carve out your own way around the rules and it works for you. That's great. But the rules, the rules are in charge of you. The rules put you in place. But anyway, this is how I got kicked out of college. I'm going to take a piss real quick. Oh, fuck. ASMR. ASMR for my dick. ASMR for your ears. I think I called it ASMR the other day. Ugh. Alright. If I post this, like, I'm legitimately pissing. I just legitimately took a piss. Hold on. Okay. Where was I? Ah, yes. People in the mainstream... That's another thing. People in the mainstream media are always misleading you. We know. Yes, we Like, no, nobody, everybody will listen to Russell Brand. They'll listen to, I think, what is it, Jimmy Carr? I listened to Jimmy Dore. They'll listen to Jimmy Dore with the Kurt Metzger. I really like those guys, by the way. Like, again, no, I really, whatever. I don't care. I don't hold any hatred or dislike. And I'm not saying, what they're saying is wrong. But everybody will watch, they'll watch like the Jimmy Dore show or the Russell Brand show, and they'll retain these facts. It's like, 17% of the military industrial budget is unaccounted for. We got to do something about this. Let's vote for Trump. Let's vote for the guy. It's like the reasoning behind all that was like, Trump will help expose the military industrial complex. He's not even going to like post what's in the JFK assassination. And who was alive from that, by the way? What did he have? Was there some baby in the office of where God, I'm what the fuck? Where Lee Harvey Oswald took the shot? Was it Bring Your Daughter to Work Day? Those people are still alive. It was in the 60s. Let's say you were a 20-year-old CIA agent who fed Lee Harvey Oswald, the Mexican spy at the I think it was the Mexican embassy about 2 weeks before the shooting of JFK. Let's say you were at the Mexican embassy. All you were told to do was, you're 25 years old in the CIA, let's say. All you're told to do was ask the prostitute that was really a Russian agent or a Puerto Rican agent or Cuban agent that convinced Lee Harvey Oswald at the Mexican embassy, or at least really led him to the conclusion that he should assassinate JFK. Let's say all you had to do was point the girl, hey, that's Lee. Go ahead, my boss wants you to, that's the guy my bosses were telling you about. I don't know what it's about, but that's the guy. And then let's say 2 weeks later, you're like, oh shit, I pointed her out to the guy who assassinated JFK. Like, damn, that's kind of weird. The Mexican embassy, I was directly watching the guy who was apparently assassinating the president 2 weeks later. Why wasn't this guy in higher notice? Let's say you're that guy. You're what, in the 60s? What was it, like 68 or something like that? You're fit plus 54. You're 79. I mean, it's like, even if you were in your mid 20s, you're now in your late 70s, and they're saying, oh, well, we can't do it because the people were still alive. No, they're not. It's like they're kids and people. It's like we don't need to know anybody's names. All we need to know is like, hey, what did the CIA know? Hey, didn't they have agents down at the Mexican embassy 2 weeks before Lee Harvey Oswald shot JFK dead? And wasn't the autopsy of JFK destroyed literally within 48 hours of him being taken to I think the Johns Hopkins Hospital or something like that? Like, did they know anything about the autopsy being destroyed? Did they know anything about that weird bullet that nobody can figure out? Yeah, like they do, and Trump's not going to provide that to anybody. He's not going to do anything. It's like, if he wants to cut taxes, cool. If he wants to put tariffs, cool. It's like, all anybody cares about is the price of fucking Hot Pockets. If the price of Hot Pockets went down 50%, I guarantee Joe Biden's approval rating would go up 10 to 15 points. Just Hot Pockets. Okay? Chicken could be up 50%. Beef could be up 80%. If Hot Pockets were sold at cost, Kamala would have won in a landslide. Okay? Pennsylvania wouldn't be a purple state anymore. I mean, what are we talking about here? It's literally, the entire election is based around what the price of stuffing your face is and how much it costs to drive somewhere to allow you to make money to stuff your face, or to stuff your face, or to stuff your face at a place you want to go, or to drive to your, or how much the cost of driving to your to see family of which you will all stuff your face together. It's like the entire economy, the entire, the housing, like, we're not going to get houses. These fucking boomers won't die. I don't even know much about boomers. All I know is that I've read 2 articles, okay? Both articles of which I've read, it's like, yeah, the boomers don't want to sell, and the housing bubble is just like increasing because all these big companies are just starting to like buy them and sell and like only sell really high or rent. So again, it's like, it all just goes back to my overarching point is that there's no difference in my eyes. There's a slight difference in that if there was such a candidate that came across that was on the ballot or maybe was popularized, the anti-established people would be more inclined to vote for them. Maybe if they were like an outsider in the political sphere, which Trump was, by the way, doesn't make it a good thing. But Tim Dillon said this: Trump doesn't care about the working people. Like, you really think as a billionaire he cared about how much working class families are making? He said this too. He's like, they gave up. He's like, oh, well, Trump's actually losing. He mocked the people. He's like, oh, well, Trump's actually losing money doing president. Really? No, he's not. You don't think being the leader of the free world is a benefit? I'm not going to continue to regurgitate information. I don't really like talking about politics. The whole thing, people are retarded. They just want to eat Hot Pockets. That was like my rant, my 20-minute rant, or however long that was. It was probably like 3 minutes. I'm just mentally masturbating myself into, oh wow. No, but I mean, they're all just grouped together, in my opinion. The anti-establishment people, the left wing and the right wing. Nobody's going to change anything. And the only difference is that the left wing people like to do more drugs, have gay sex, and pretend to like black people. That's really the only difference in the output of society. Or more of them are homeless, I guess. And they like more crime. I'm not saying one side's ideology isn't more logical or fact-based. I think obviously I've clearly let it be known that I agree with the anti-establishment people. It's just not interesting when they talk about it. And again, it's like there isn't some major overproduction from these people who believe in that certain way. Most people are deep down apolitical. They don't care. They just want to go to their jobs, get home, get drunk, fuck their wife once a month or whatever. I don't know. Their fat, gross wife once a month. This is the last point I was going to make with the anti. None of them read a book. This was what I was really trying to get at here. None of them. It's like they'll watch these videos where it's like, well, COVID particles are actually smaller than the mask, so therefore you don't have to actually wear it. And the military-industrial complex gets $2,000 a year from each American taxpayer. It's like, you never read an actual detailed book about why that is, what we're spending our money on, the specific elements of corruption that our government engages in. You never read it. Like, it's exactly how I was. I would just go, I would hear like, the government's involved in overthrowing another government. I wouldn't even like look what it is. I just hear like Yemen And I'd be like, and I go around, like, sometimes get in a discussion. Do you even know what's going on in Yemen? I don't know what's going on in Yemen. I'm just saying that. So what I'm saying is, it's actually pointless to consume this surface level information if you're not going to delve any deeper on it. You know, if you just want to get through work, if you're a construction bricklayer, you just want to listen to like an hour and a half podcast about somebody glazing over the conflict in the Middle East, okay. You know, okay, fine. But don't talk about it if you're not going to go out of your way to inform yourself. You know? And I'm a total hypocrite, by the way, like in multiple ways. Like I've listened to probably like the World War II things I was talking about earlier. It's like I got all of that from podcasts. Every single bit I got from podcasts. I wonder how did I sound really bitchy right now? I feel like I sound bitchy. I don't know if anyone finds this like funny or entertaining. I think it's like slightly entertaining. That's my goal, to be entertaining enough to where people, like I was talking about the Big Bang Theory in the last episode, I want this to be soul sucking and engaging enough to where you just sit there with a stone small smirk on your face for 40 minutes. Then by the end you're like, God, that was a waste of time. There was maybe like 5 minutes of which I actually enjoyed. I was running off fumes. Like sex. That's how we do it. 18 minutes for the average female orgasm. 18 minutes. That's why you gotta be in good shape. I cannot fuck for 18 minutes straight. Best shape I was ever in, I worked construction, moving shit all day. You know, it becomes very easy when you do that. Sex is very easy. It's like it's signing your name on a chalkboard 100 times. You know? Except you get an orgasm instead of dismissal from detention. Or except it's the same as that if you were to fuck the teacher at the end of detention, I guess. But 18 minutes. So I actually got a sponsor today. My sponsor is Blue Chew, not the dick pills that you're thinking of. This is a different. It's not a Blue Chew. It's Blue Chomp, right? I mean, a little derivative, kind of the same. Blue Chomp is my new sponsorship. It's not a dick pill in the sense that it gets your dick hard. It literally turns your dick blue. So like on Halloween or something, you want to run around New Orleans with your little dick out. You can take this pill if you want to paint your body blue, but you don't want to risk getting paint in your tip or something. Like you're auditioning for Avatar, for example, and you have to go in completely naked. Take Blue Chomp. All right, it turns your dick completely blue. It does that by expanding your vascularity. You should really only do it like once or twice in your life, because it basically expands the width of your penis veins. So again, it doesn't make your dick bigger. It kind of like the veins on the side of your penis just get like really wide, so they start to encompass just below the skin, and so it looks blue. You can't fuck on these. The veins will blow up because they'll be so, or I guess burst because they'll be so stretched thin. More of like a novelty product, kind of like you do it once just to try it. But yeah, use code BLUECOCK for 15% off. Again, that's a Blue Chomp, promo code BLUECOCK, all one word, all lowercase, for 15% off on your first order. But yeah, that's my sponsorship today. Very, very happy this is going so well. Yeah, let's see. Something. Oh yeah, so I got kicked out of college, so it's kind of also going to tie in to what I was talking about, being one of those people. So, let me see. So yeah, I used to be one of those people. Like, I listened to a few hours of Joe Rogan Experience. You know, I'm not Anthony Jeselnik. I'm not going to make the all the people who listen to Joe Rogan are stupid. I'm not saving face. You are stupid. Okay? If you listen religiously to the Joe Rogan Experience, do you not have anything better to do with your time? Really? I mean, again, it's the same thing. It's like he at least reads books, whether or not he retains all the information or keeps it. He at least like reads books about the people he has on, and then asks ask questions. But it's like, you know, if you listen to that going, oh, I'm learning so much about the COVID vaccine and white blood cell counts, and the myocarditis. Did you know there's been an unreported epidemic of myocarditis? If you actually if you fancy yourself a knowledgeable person based upon what you learn on there, I don't really, you know, I don't think that's the case. I'll just leave it at that. I don't think that's the case. Because I used to listen to it. And then at times I would find myself recollecting upon facts I would learn in that episode and going, oh, that actually is so useless and so tangential to anything relevant or interesting that it really just kind of seems to be a waste of space in my limited capacity. But anyway, I used to listen to Joe Rogan sometimes and whatever. Really, when I got high a lot and just like had nothing to do. If you get high a lot, like all day, you're probably a Joe Rogan podcast consumer. Like, I'm not even joking. You're likely a bum. If you listen consistently, you are probably a loser. Anyway, get to the college thing, man. Quit hitting your vape, man. You know this bad for you. It's not as bad as cigarettes. I've done both. I will have 3 different types of undiscovered cancer in 15 years. 3 different types. That's my prediction. Like the hide. It's called a hide. It's called. You know, I learned this from a drug addict, so it may not be entirely accurate, but it's called a hide because the flavoring is derived and preserved with the chemical formaldehyde. So, you know, not gonna sit here on. I'm trying to think of a different metaphor than on my high horse. But that's not a metaphor. It's not a comparison. Idiom? Whatever. I'm trying to think of some figurative term to represent what I'm speaking about. Okay. But anyway, I was one of those people. I was during the COVID thing. I was, this whole thing's a sham. I was like 4 months in. I I had seen through the Matrix. This whole thing, they don't even understand that it's mainly old people dying, and young people only contract. They're dying more from the vaccines, and you know, the nano. Because this is how I feel like this. Whenever I read anything online, it's what's going on is as sporadic as that. You're just conjuring facts that tangentially relate to each other. Gonna also have to use a different word than tangentially at some point. Didn't even probably need different facts that kind of relate to each other, but they're just like, you're just saying a bunch of facts in a row. Anyway, I don't even need the mask in COVID because not only have I built up the antibodies that last for 120 days, but actually the COVID particle is like 2 nanometers across, and the space between the mask is like 4 nanometers across. So even if I were to wear the mask, they would slip right through. And this is also what people don't understand. COVID's airborne. So when you're sitting in a room without a vent, the COVID particles stack onto each other, and in 30 minutes they're going to go in your nose anyway. So anyway, moral of the story, I didn't wear masks. I was like, do you even listen to Joe Rogan? Please. I bet you don't even know what myocarditis is. What are you, a Fauci guy? Please. I'm a freshman who has a ketamine problem. I'm a socially awkward person who barely graduated high school. Please, I've listened to multiple 3-hour podcasts. I don't need to hear this nonsense. This nonsensical bull crap malarkey. Starts sounding all smart. But yeah, I got like multiple violations for not wearing a mask because I was too cool. I really think I just hate listening to people. That's mostly it. It's a good reason why I've got fired from like 5 jobs. I'm fired from 5. I'm 21. It's an average 18 to 21. Obviously, you can be like 3.5 years basically. What's that? 42 months. Ooh, look at me. 42 months, 5 jobs. Fired every 8 months from a job. Actually, that's not bad. 8 months. It's not bad. But I mean, seriously, I've been fired 5 times. Not from every job I've had, but I don't know. I've grown to. It's just boring. It's just boring. It's like, I mean, seriously, you're just going to go on in circles. You're not changing anything, even by bringing it up. I wish everybody thinks the same way. You know, again, it's like, just raise your kids, raise your kids on, teach them about MK Ultra. Give them whoever wrote that book, the popular book about the JFK assassination. That should be their first book. Do away with Thomas the Tank Engine. 9/11 was it 9/11 conspiracies should be your nighttime bedtime stories. Just pick it up. So George, yeah, sweetie. So I just wanted to. I know you've really been enjoying the Wiggles, but I have this documentary that Kyrie Irving posted about the Holocaust and how the pictures don't line up. There's too many shadows, sweetie, and I don't want you going to school with these Japs, you know, I don't want you going to school without being cautious of these Japs, sweetie. But Mommy, I want to watch the Wiggles. No, sweetie. 9/11 was an inside job. You need to learn about this at some point. The sooner the better. Just teach your kids about the basics of what really goes on. And the government, Tommy, how many years has it been since the government passed an audit? They haven't passed an audit since they started doing them. Right. And how many billion did the Pentagon fail theirs by last year? 884. Good. Was Sandy Hook real? No, Mama, they were all a bunch of actors, just like Parkland. Just like the Parkland shooting. And what are you going to tell your teacher what are you going to tell your teacher before reading time? Trans people we're all boys and girls. Right, sweetie. You don't want to let her get started. You need to let everybody know. I'm going to listen back to this. I might post this one just to see how utterly retarded and unfunny and annoying I can be. Because I'm going to run out of stuff. I'm going to try and start doing like a joke section, but I don't know if I'm creative enough to have like a 5 to 10 minute joke session. But let's see, how long have I done? An hour? Okay, an hour's okay. Yesterday I went for longer, but an hour's okay. I'm trying to do an hour. The Sober Epilogue. I have trouble with that name. Just because epilogue's like a conclusion or a summary or both. And I'm not concluding my sobriety. It's like Jeffrey Dahmer. It'd be like gay cannibalism epilogue. I'm not done being sober yet. I will see. Fun times we live in, huh? Alright, gonna get an intro and an outro. Maybe I'll find some more news. That was fun talking about Netanyahu. That fucking psychopath. What a nut job. I mean, there's nothing left. Just nuke them already, man. Why? I guess it's near you. I mean, it's like, yeah, they attacked you. Yeah, they're a terrorist group. You want some of the land. It's the most fertile and trade, it's one of the most fertile lands in the world, and it's a giant trade hub. The closer you are to the coast, the better, especially in the Mediterranean. I mean, Jesus Christ. Said it. I'm gonna get a counter. I'm gonna get like a button to ding every time I say Jesus Christ. I'm gonna get a button to ding every time I hear myself overusing a word. I'm gonna ding the button, see how many I get. It's how many times I'll slit my wrist that night. You said Jesus Christ again. God, have you no vocabulary? These people think you're stupid. No. Alright, signing off. Peace.